Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening or watching my comic book journey podcast. I'm your host, KNDY. Today, we are going back to June 1992 for Solar, Man of the Atom, Volume 1, Issue number 10. Written by Jim Shooter, penciler by D. David Perlin, inker Stan Drake and John Dixon with Paul Autio. Colorist was Mike Cavallaro. Letterer was Joe Albello. And editor was Bob Layton. So, let's start off with this cover. By the way, the cover does not look at, doesn't look as janky like this. The actual cover is black. It's all black. You got the embossed thing right there in the top left corner, and the embossed Solar on top. And it was definitely an issue worth checking out. But let's go ahead and talk about issue number 10 and why it's all black and so forth. So, back in 1992, prior to the big Unity event, Valiant Comics featured an arc titled The Man Who Killed the World. The story began with an introduction to an old man named Buck, who took a young boy named Jeffrey and opened up his geomancer abilities. Granted, Jeffrey was kidnapped, missing until he was found and brought back to his family. But Jeffrey would be able to talk to objects and see the future, which many felt was due in part because of his traumatic experience he suffered when he was kidnapped. Meanwhile, Gilad, the Eternal Warrior, is assisting Harada in aiding the Harbinger Foundation's egg breakers in capturing Solar. While Solar made a visit to Dr. Pierce, who has the same powers as her, but she refuses to use it and talks about how her baby had to die because he had powers like them and is unable to control or repress it and killed many people. Meanwhile, Solar tries to make an attempt to visit his girlfriend Gail, who is being surveyed by the government and being used to get access to Solar. Dr. Pierce, with the help of Phil, Solar's friend John, are trying to take him down. As Dr. Pierce gives him the means of how to stop Solar managed to escape and literally swallow the sun from another solar system and is consumed with power. So as he goes back to Earth to quickly visit the love of his life, Gail, he doesn't realize that he took in so much power and radiation that it's super lethal. And sure enough, while with Gail and hugging her, she blows up. And when this leaves Solar about to explode because he has too much power. But instead of exploding, he manages to go back during a time when Gail was alive, and he comes across Geoff, who claims he will bring the end of the world. But is Solar truly responsible for that? So this issue features the first appearance of the Eternal Warrior, and also the first appearance of Geoff, Jeffrey McHenry and Buck McHenry. Now, I remember getting this issue for its sleek black cover. This one is a second printing. The cover had a 2 again, and this is significant for its first appearance of its characters, but also the precursor to the Unity event that changed the course of Valiant Comics and making it one of the most seeked out comic brand in the early 90s, known for its short print run. But yeah, Solar, Man of the Atom. This is probably a scan that doesn't do it justice, but for the most part, I will say that it is a fantastic issue. I mean, just to think Solar coming back home to Earth to his love of his life, hugging her, and literally blowing her up. That is nuts. That is insane. And but it happened. It happened in this issue. And I think it's one of those issues that a lot of people are having a hard time finding because it has that pure black. It's that pure black cover, shiny. The ones you could see your fingerprints if you touch it so much. It's that nice of a cover. And that's why I had to brighten the image up so you could see it. But it was truly a magnificent issue. I absolutely loved it. But again, I was never able to get the first printing because it was so hard. I think during this time is when everyone wanted to get their hands on a Valiant comic because they were reading on the magazines of how popular and how short the print runs were, and so everyone wanted a copy in order to resell in the market. Granted, it was way before eBay, right? So people back then, you had to deal with comic shops or hobby shops who were interested in buying it for resale. And I could have sold this. A lot of people have been asking me this for the second printing, but I mean, it's a second printing, but sometimes these second printings are a lot to people, especially for the sleek black cover. I think the only thing that I absolutely love, I think covers that came out in terms of a single color, would have to be this one for black, and for white it was a Fantastic Four issue with Human Torch. I believe it was Human Torch, or it could be Invisible Girl, I forgot, but it was all white, and I thought that was pretty awesome. But anyway, everyone, you take care, and I will see you later. Wink wink, and take care, everyone. Bye bye.